Hi, my name is Jennifer Ramirez, and today I will be presenting a special education topic on the ARD Committee and the process. Here's a picture of me. I'm currently a special education graduate student at LCU. So the objective of my presentation is to give an overall look at the framework of the ARD process and the committee that facilitates ARD meetings. I got this from Google Images. It has a lot of acronyms and keywords that are found in the special education environment, and also when ARD meetings occur. So what does ARD stand for? ARD stands for Admission, Review, and Dismissal. And all of these terms are in relation to special ed services a child may be eligible for. The ARD meeting can be to admit a child into special ed services, review the current services they receive, or to dismiss them from receiving any future special ed services. And ARD is really only a term used in Texas. Elsewhere in the United States, ARD meetings are called IEP meetings. ARD meetings are held annually and also when a child moves to a new school in which a transfer ARD takes place. So what is an ARD committee? In Texas, a child's eligibility for SPED services and most of the major decisions that go with that and the child's special ed program are made by the ARD committee. And this group is also referred to as an individualized education program or IEP team, which is the term used in federal law and legislation, which is IDEA 2004. And who are the members of the ARD committee? There's a parent or legal guardian. They're always invited to attend. The special ed teacher, a representative of the school, such as the principal or counselor, a person who can interpret the evaluation results, such as an educational diagnostician or LSSP. And the members of the ARD committee also include other individuals or experts who have knowledge or special expertise about the child. Whenever appropriate, the child's involved. It's up to the discretion of the ARD committee. And also a representative from career and technical education if the child is being considered for vocational or technical education. So what is the timeline for ARD meetings? Well, for initial evaluations, an IEP is to be convened within 30 calendar days from the time of the written evaluation report. And the IEP must be convened within a reasonable time. And a reasonable time frame is determined by the ARD committee. IEP reviews are held at least annually, and they can be held more frequently to make any changes as necessary. Also, parents can request an ARD meeting at any time. They just need to submit it in writing to the school. So, what should parents know about the ARD process? There's a lot that parents should know about the ARD process, and it can be overwhelming to a parent that is not knowledgeable about their rights or the procedural safeguards that are put in place to protect their child and them. Requests for an ARD meeting should be made in writing with a clear timeline and with the available dates. Also, parents should request drafts of the present level statements and IEP goals before the ARD meeting so they're able to review them and ask appropriate questions before the ARD meeting. And the parent should also remember to make all requests in writing and keep all documentation sent and received from the school. This just protects the parent in case any issues come up about what was discussed, what information was sent and received, etc. The ARD committee agenda is pretty lengthy. A lot of things are discussed during an ARD meeting. First of all, introductions are made. Participants in the ARD meeting, they introduce themselves and they describe their roles at the meeting for the record. This also helps all the members know who all is present, as well as the parents. The parents might be overwhelmed by so many people sitting in a room, so introductions take the mystery away. The purpose of an ARD meeting is reported for the record, And the purpose may be for any number of reasons, such as an annual ARD or review ARD, or an ARD to discuss a new evaluation. And the purpose is disclosed at that point in the meeting, and it becomes part of the minutes that are included with each ARD meeting. The minutes describe everything discussed. Okay, the first thing after introductions and the purpose of the meeting, first of all, the committee reviews evaluation data and other information. There's a slew of documents and data that is accessed and talked about, such as the FIE, which is a full and individual evaluation. It's the first evaluation a kid that's referred to SPED ever has as far as testing. Any other evaluations, parent information, school personnel information, and other professional information. Next, the determinant of eligibility is made. In order for a student to receive special ed services, they must meet the federal definition of a disability and have an educational need. Also, at every ARD meeting, the student's eligibility label is reviewed and or determined for the record. Sometimes eligibility changes. Next, there is transition planning. Transition planning is really important for students 14 or older, and it just talks about transition plans for after a child graduates and goes on to post-school activities. And it can be developed earlier than 14. It's up to the discretion of the committee. And also, most typical students start planning for their future beyond high school in about 7th grade. The fourth thing that's addressed in the meeting is present levels of academic and functional performance. Actually, I think that should say present levels of academic achievement and functional performance, also known as PLAFs. This basically just says what the student can do and how it's measured. Some areas that can be addressed in the present level discussion, such as physical issues, behavioral or discipline, health, medical, vocational, academic, language, especially for ELL students, and other assistive technology needs as needed. Next, the IEP goals are discussed. The IEP committee, or the ARD committee, they review previous goals in progress, and then they introduce new goals. And the annual goals should be designed to meet the child's needs and enable them to make progress in the general curriculum. They should also, members should also review previous IEPs and link them to present levels. Also, they'll discuss how the progress will be measured and reported to the parents. And this is usually through progress reports every 6 weeks that are included with report cards. Next, there are other ARD considerations, like if a child has behavioral issues due to their disability. They might have a BIP, behavior intervention plan. They talk about graduation, autism considerations, communication needs, language, and any assistive technology. Next, modifications and accommodations are discussed. And modifications include what is being taught and how it's modified to help the child learn better. And a modification to the curriculum is usually indicated by IEP goals. Also, accommodations. Accommodations are extra resources that can help a child. Next. Here it is. There's more about the modification. A modification to the curriculum is usually indicated in the IEP goals. And next, state and district assessments are discussed, as well as what assessment the child will take, whether it's accommodated or STAR Alt 2. Next, extended school year services are considered. These are just services that go beyond the school year into the summer, and not every child will need them, but some will. Next, we have related services, and that could just be any other type of service that was not previously mentioned. Transportation needs. If a child needs a special bus with a lift or any kind of transportation other than the school bus, this is discussed. Also, this committee must determine services to be provided, and it can be any other supports and services not mentioned earlier as well. Next, placement must be determined. A child must be placed in the least restrictive environment per IDEA legislation. So that just means it must be the least restrictive yet the most appropriate placement for a child. Again, the ARD committee will consider the LRE and whether previous learning environments were successful or not. Next, assurances. They're made to the student and the parent, and it explains why a child is being removed from the general ed classroom for any reason, anytime during the day. And then finally, the ARD committee members, all of them, must be in agreement or disagreement when they sign their name. Usually all members are in agreement, and whenever there's any disagreement, further discussion or future meetings might be planned. So in conclusion, that should have played a sound effect, but it didn't. In conclusion, there is a lot to ARD meetings. If you're a general ed or special ed teacher, you're going to attend some ARD meetings during your career. So it's important to know the structure and the setup. It's also important for parents to know this information before they go into an ARD meeting so they're best informed. The sources that I used a few websites and Google Images. And thanks for watching.